Hello everyone, welcome to Liberal Tarot. I'm Sherry, a blue dot in a red state utilizing tarot to offer insight into these very interesting times we have going on here in the United States. So I'm really glad that you're here and welcome. It's like interesting and sometimes terrifying times. I keep thinking I need to update that intro. So the focus of today's reading is going to be about the Epstein files. And I've got, there's a couple of different fronts here that I want to look at. One is going to be about the House Democrats and that they are working with the Epstein estate. And that is how those emails came about. I'm pretty sure because I saw a clip of Jasmine Crockett talking about how they're working, and it was just kind of a side comment even. She's like, well, the House hasn't been in session since, September, so we've been working with the Epstein estate, and that's how we got this. And then she was saying that there could be more to come out of just what they got. That was just the initial look that they got those 3 emails. So the aides and staff are still going, combing through all of the, thousands of pages of documents. Okay, so there's that. And I want to look at that. Are we going to be getting more from the Epstein estate? They are getting more from the Epstein estate. I want to know, is it going to be, specifically, I want to know, is it going to be the information, the smoking gun, the one that, takes Trump out? So the other side of that is the Republicans. So, and I'm going to be looking at that. Now, we have had Adelita Grijalva, who has been sworn in. I did get that it would be next week, so I was off by, a few days, but I was pretty close. I mean, I kept getting like, no, it's not going to, it's going to be a while, before she was going to be sworn in. And then, and so now they're going to vote next week, and it's expected, to pass. Right now, Senator Thune is saying, I don't see a need to have to vote on this because there's the, we're getting documents, through the committees or, whatever he said. And it's like, oh, really? You don't see a need to, do that? I want to look on if there's going to be a pressure campaign for the Senate to vote on that and if it will pass. Now, in this, just because the House votes on it doesn't mean that we automatically get the files. Okay. The House has to vote on it. The Senate has to vote for it. It has to go to Trump for him to sign. We all know he's not going to sign it. And then, what? And then, do they have a veto-proof, override? They have enough votes to override a veto. Well, we know that, little grinder Mike doesn't want this to come out because, he's got to be a good little soldier. And in that reading, I got, what is it that they could possibly have on him? Oh, it could be that grinder account. Whether he has one or not, they would still lie and use it. I mean, they lie. We know that. Okay. So, and I was like, would he use a pocket veto? And I started looking up the pocket veto, and I want to bring this up because if it goes to the Senate, this is just, as soon as I read what how a pocket veto works, I was like, oh my gosh, it's been a while since we've all had high school civics, and so I wanted to the way this works, and it's been a while since we watched Schoolhouse Rocks. So a bill, how does a bill become a law? Sorry, I've got that song going through my head now. So the House has to vote on this. The Senate has to vote for it. Goes to the president. The president has 10 days to sign it. If Congress is in session and he doesn't sign it, it becomes law. But the way a pocket veto works is if he doesn't sign it and Congress is on recess, and we know that Maggot Mike has been using that to keep, to try to, keep these files from this vote from even happening. So, if they go on recess, they won't be there within the 10, and if they're not there within that 10-day window, then the bill dies. It effectively nothing happens to it. So, that is it. Whenever I saw that, I'm like, that's what's going to happen. That's a really, really strong possibility, or that's the intent. I don't know that. I think that things are going to be happening a lot sooner than that. So, but that I think is their plan. Like, I'm feeling like when I read that, I'm like, oh yeah, that's their plan. So I want to look first into the Democrats working with the Epstein estate, and then I want to look into this mess with the Republicans. And, are they, how many of them are going to be labeled pedophile protectors? Boy, won't that be good for their legacy? As always, everything I do is for entertainment purposes only. I'm just middle-aged, Gen X, sitting here in my dining room doing readings for entertainment purposes with all the Gen X snark that I can muster and not get banned from social media. So, yes, I'm laughing. With this, I want to look at the Democrats working with the Epstein estate. What does that look like? What can we expect? Are we going to get more? You know, all of that base reading into that from the Democrat side. Okay, and the deck that I'm using today is my Wiser Tarot. I really have been liking the colors of this. The coloring is very different than a traditional Rider-Waite, and so I just really have been enjoying using this deck. I will pick a favorite deck and use it for, you know, like, I don't know, a few weeks, and then it's like, oh, I want to use this other deck. There for a while, my Robinwood was my favorite deck, and now this one, this is going to be my favorite deck for this moment. Okay, Nine of Cups. Happiness, drunk on power. So in the higher energy, it's happiness, and then the challenge is the evidence, the receipts. Something, the Pentacles are, I've always read of something of value, and so that's why I say the receipts. And let me look at this. What else I get here? Yeah, I think they're happy with the evidence that they're getting. I was just sitting here looking and seeing if there was anything that connecting these two. Yeah, happy with with the evidence that they've been receiving. Happy with what they're going to continue to receive. Okay, the options that the Democrats have: Queen of Wands, the messaging, and this is also somebody who's facing the situation head on. Taking care, and I'm feeling like the queens are always nurturers, and so like a nurturing message. This is I'm feeling like, if I'm feeling that like nurturing message, this is someone who is, they are supporting the survivors, not protecting the pedophiles. Okay, so the Democrat Party is one of, yeah, caring for the survivors, not protecting the men and women who participated in this child sex trafficking ring. Overcoming. This is the foundation, the past experiences. And this also shows they really had to fight to get where they are. They had to fight to get, you know, the evidence, and they weren't letting it go. And I feel like, and all the reporting has been like the Epstein estate is working with the Democrats. So I think this is more the pushback, like overcoming the pushback that they were getting from the Republicans. Some of the Republicans, most of the Republicans. There's a handful there that are like, no, we need these files released. Okay. And that they're saying that what's rich is that on that initial legislation that Thomas Massey and Ro Khanna did, they had like a whole bunch of other Republicans that had signed on to that as co-sponsors, but then none of them would sign the discharge petition. Only, you know, like the handful of them did. Thomas Massey, Lauren Boebert, Marjorie Taylor Greene, and Nancy Mace, of all people. Anyway, we'll take it. And I will say, whenever I did that reading on Nancy Mace, she was genuine. Okay, so we had a genuine moment from Nancy Mace. So this is them, the pushback, like they were pushing back against any criticism. But also the criticism they were getting were from people who had already signed on to the legislation to begin with. So I'm not feeling like this was a terrible struggle card. They had put themselves in a position to be able to overcome the disappointment. And I do see this is the disappointment that the people, you know, like they just needed, you know, that extra signature. Just sign the thing. Okay, so this is going to be that legislation that what they're dealing with. But it is getting, like they are getting to vote on that. So let's see what the outcome here is. And this is going to be within the estate, because I was asking about the estate. And this could be even, if you look here, this Two of Cups here. And here you've got the Two of Cups here. So everything they tried doing with the government and the DOJ didn't work. So they had some aces up their sleeve, and those aces up their sleeve was to be working with the Epstein estate. So, and this is a good relationship, a good partnership, and as I said, from all that I've seen, I've not seen anything negative. So yeah, I think that this is going to be even more evidence that comes through. So what can we expect with that evidence? What kind of evidence will we be getting the smoking gun from the Epstein estate? I think those photos that Michael Wolff had been talking about, there was like about a dozen or so, or that he saw, of Polaroids of Trump with the young topless women, not women, girls. They were young girls, and so those were in a safe, and the FBI has gotten, they confiscated all of the stuff in the safe. So I'm wondering if there was not pictures elsewhere that maybe the Democrats are going to get. So what else are they going to get? And is it going to be something of consequence? Like big consequence, like removing him from office consequence. What else are the Democrats going to be getting? And I'll just do 3 cards. The betrayal, the restrictions, and yes, what happened. Oh my gosh. Okay. Yes, they're going to be getting that evidence. And I let me just look at this and I think it's the pictures. If the Democrats aren't getting it, and I have often felt like it was either a survivor that releases it, it's something from overseas, like England's going through their, day of reckoning right now with Andrew, or Andrew's he's getting a big old pile of judgment heaped up on him. So I'm wondering, like it's somewhere in that, like, and the betrayal, things that we haven't seen before now come to light. And I'm going to see this as, I'm literally seeing this as the pictures of what these men did to these young girls. And that this is like the people, the witnesses that saw it. And that the picture, like, this just looks like the picture. Because I was like, I wonder what card would come up. As I was shuffling, I was sitting there going, I wonder what card would come up if it was going to be a picture. Oh yeah, that would be it. This would be probably the best picture, the best card I can think of that would come up that is like the picture of what happened, of the abuse that happened. And it's things that we've not seen yet, and the betrayal. I'm just seeing if this is... And remember, I said things, it was like agreements that were never supposed to see the light of day. This picture... And this can be agreements that was never to see the light of day now comes out. And if you look here in this here, you've got the sun comes out into the sunshine. So yeah. And I'm noticing this angel's hair looks like it's on fire. You think that people's hair won't be on fire? The anger that comes out whenever all of this comes out. And look at this. This is the mountain in the background. Looks like a volcano that could erupt at any moment. Wow. Okay. And, oh, what's interesting here, this is Adam and Eve. And so here's Adam, and this tree here looks like the leaves are on fire, very vibrant colors there. So it's like liar, liar, pants on fire. This is Eve. Here's the snake with the apple tree. And you know how women are always blamed, for, in evangelical, maggot world, the women are always blamed for the downfall of men. It's like... I remember, so you guys, this is kind of a funny story, side quest, so I was raised in a Southern Baptist church. I didn't make a very good Southern Baptist, and I tried. I really did. Because I asked all these questions, because I was trying to, make it make sense. And so I thought, if I ask enough questions, it'll just make enough sense. And so with this whole thing, I was like, now, wait a minute. Let me see if I understand this right. Adam wasn't responsible for his own self. He didn't, where is his, responsibility in the actions that he chose? So women were responsible for his sorry ass actions? I don't think so. And so anyway, I was told I just need to have more faith. Well, there was not enough faith in the world that was going to make that make sense to me. And I left. I've not been in the church longer than I ever was. So, it's like, anyway, I didn't make a very good Southern Baptist. I wasn't submissive enough, and I didn't have enough faith, and because I wasn't going to, check my brain out at the door. So yeah, these are the pictures. Side quest over. These are the pictures that are going to come out. So let's see. I've been practicing when, so I am not going to commit, strongly to the time, because time in tarot is difficult, but I am going to practice, and let's see what I get for time. When can we expect these pictures, or this picture, whatever it is? I'm kind of wondering if it's not 3, because look here, there's 3, and then there's 3 here off to the side by themselves. So that's interesting. We'll see. Time in tarot. When can we expect this to happen? There's great evidence of the transgressions of these, wealthy men, including possibly Trump. When can we expect this to come out? Okay, and with when, I'll do 3 cards. Something being blocked, and swords is undecided. So like this is something that's undecided right now, but 6 of Pentacles, something being offered for the people, and Pentacles can be months, but I don't think this is taking months. And it could be like, how long have the Democrats been in talks with them? And like if we're coming up on the end of that 6-month time span and then walking in a new direction, and Cups days. So I'm going to say that we're coming up on, like, I've often felt like the government I often felt like the way we got out of the government shutdown was because of the fall of this administration. And so the government shutdown is ending. And so I wonder, like, were those so closely linked that's where I was having a hard time? Because this is saying like within a week, like something that was blocked that could happen at any moment. That's what the 2 of Swords is. The 2 of Swords literally is something is blocked. And then Swords means it's not decided yet. Like it could happen at any time. It's waiting on like a personal decision of somebody of what do they want to share, when are they going to share this, and you get like the evidence and offering it to the people. And then for this 8 of Cups, 8 days, and Cups is days, and so I would much rather go with days than months. And so this, I'd be interested in knowing like how long have the Democrats been working with the Epstein estate, or working on getting these files released. That would be an interesting piece to know, that timing, and going in a new direction. And also I had got this whenever the Eric Swalwell had said he had what was it, that over 100 Democrat or Republicans that were ready to flip on Trump. And so that is kind of that card there too, of walking away, going into a new direction. And within this next week, I would say I'm expecting it anytime. Anytime I get a news notification, I'm like, oh, is that it? Is that it? It hasn't been yet. So now I want to look in real quick, and this is getting a little long, so I'm going to do just kind of 3 cards of what are the Senate Republicans going to do? Is this even going to come to a vote in the Senate? Okay, and as I said, I'm just going to do 3 cards because I'm kind of going to want to get this wrapped up here. So will the Senate Republicans vote on this? Will Thune be pressured into voting on this bill? And Thune voting on this. Fiery, I keep getting this fiery message. So this message of taking care of the survivors. Why are you wanting to protect pedophiles? That is the message that I'm hearing loud and clear. So is he going to get that message? He's having to defend his actions as to why he's protecting pedophiles, and the disappointment. What is this disappointment? Does that mean they vote? Because I just got that disappointment before that, are the Senate Republican or Senate Democrats going to have to start working, with the Epstein estate as well. I don't know if they are. I'm not really sure who all's working with. I know it's the Democrats. I don't know if it's just the House or if the Senate is also working with them. That, or, while he is, trying to justify protecting pedophiles, this evidence comes out in other ways. That could be it. The disappointment that he's been protecting pedophiles, and that the evidence comes out another way. So will they, I'm just going to ask yes, no, will they vote? I don't think so. I think that this comes out another way. If they do vote, it's going to be that they will do that whole pocket veto thing. Like they know that they can just wait it out and that nothing would happen, but then they would be labeled a pedophile protector. So that is right now. The Senate's a mess. That's what I'm going to say. The Senate's a mess. The Republicans don't want to be labeled pedophile protectors, and the Democrats have already have been labeled as the surrender Democrats who don't have the people's back, and they're getting primaried. So, yeah, there could be some big upsets there in the 26 midterms in the Senate because people aren't happy with the senators at all right now. You know, the status quo doesn't cut it. So I think that I think that if this other evidence doesn't come out, then the Senate will be pressured into taking that vote. But I'm even as I say that, it's like, you know, that this all the other stuff is going to come out that's going to kind of like push that off to the side. So that's what I get today. I will definitely keep watching this. And because truly, I do expect that it's like any moment, that stuff. So like yesterday, that all blew up yesterday. I'm recording these on Thursday, so it was Wednesday this past week that when those emails came out. I was like, oh my gosh, we're getting closer. So yeah, hang in there. Like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you on the next reading. Have a great day.